morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. After conferences and after going to different locations, the past week has been very busy, and now we've come from the Ordo Dracul offices in Transylvania, and we're making our way across the mountains, looking at snow caps and now clouds. They predicted sun this afternoon, but it looks like we may get some snow. Hope everybody's well. Hope your day is going good, and I hope you're having a marvelous weekend. In the last number of days, in talks we've had and conferring with each other, the high priests, and among some of the spiritual meetings we've had, the issue of magical intent keeps coming up. And I was just inspired to do a quick live to present a message. And something we keep seeing certainly around Facebook, social networking places. They call them social environments, social groups, social websites. How social are they? Well, let's not get into that issue. That'll take up 2 hours of a live. It's the matter of revenge, anger, the spirit, the undercurrent of revenge. There's a lot of angry people right now. A lot of angry people out there, and they're getting angry about things. Certainly nobody knows what's going on in somebody else's head. But on a surface level and in a public level, as people display all kinds of anger and all kinds of vendettas against each other for the most menial, childish things. The old quotes, just keep coming back to my mind. Revenge. Part of what was discussed was the undercurrent of the true nature of the spirit, of our intent, the soul. It's I remember as a boy, I was doing a lot of theological study in various systems of belief at the time. And, one of the speakers, and a very brilliant man who I was listening to, he talked about spiritual intent. And he said people would come and they'd say, to what they were referring to as God or spirits or angels or whatever they were praying to. They said, well, they're willing to turn over some stuff, and you can have this stuff, but you can't have this stuff, because this is my favorite stuff, and I like this, but you can have that. Well, in this case, what that was really describing was somebody's ability and inability to be true and genuine. It sort of gets to the congruence model again I talked about quite a long time ago. Being congruent, being genuine. The full circle, this is you, and that's it. There's no games being played. Well, magical intent is the same way. That, we can on the surface say, oh, we care about this person, we care about that person, or we don't care for them, or we're angry with this person. We want revenge against them. Why? And oftentimes that sense of revenge, really, is it worth it? Is it worth the effort? Is it worth the amount of energy you're focusing on all of this anger and all of this tripe of bullshit? And I apologize for the language, if there's kids watching, but it's like it really is. It's bullshit when we get right down to it. It's being childish. And it really screws up magical intent, and it screws up our ability to craft our path forward. A member of my own family at one point, I heard him say that, after a long period of being angry, that the only route out that he could find was he had to forgive. Forgiveness was the only way. And that was for him. And he said he wasn't forgiving for other people. He learned he had to forgive for himself. He had to clear up his own spirit. He had to realign, sort of like realigning your chakras, to getting things back into trueness again. Well, this is intent. This is magical intent. And this is how it works. And so if your path is really messed up, I'm not going to use the F word. You know, if your path is really messed up, if you're having problems finding your way forward, if, you know, right turns and left turns are not looking right, and if you feel like you should take a left, but you're taking rights, and you should be taking rights, you're taking left, you know, things just aren't going right, and if you feel lost, look at your intent. Take a look. Do some meditating on this. You know, find your true sense of, your core sense of spirit. What is it you feel? Are you pissed off? Who are you pissed off at? And what should you own out of being pissed off? Guarantee you, everybody I've ever been angry with, that I've held revenge feelings for, I had a piece in it. And some of it was my own responsibility, because I was acting like a stupid ass. I made wrong decisions. We all do. We need to own who and what we are. We need to own our steps along our path. And, you know, many times we hear people say, I performed this magic and I did this spell and nothing ever came of it. Well, first of all, where was your intent? What is your intent? Because I can guarantee you all the spices and all the magical wands and all the dressings you put around an altar in the world are not going to make your magic emerge, and are not going to make a spell emerge if your intent is all screwed up. You can put all the dressings, wear 5 robes, 10 caps, stick on a pair of horns, and stick a stick out of your mouth. It's like nothing is going to happen if your intent is messed up. Anger, revenge, screwed up, misaligned feelings can just mess up a path, and it can really mess up your way forward. And in a spiritual sense, we have a whole world like this right now, and this is like, you know, the religious people we've been talking with, it's one of the greatest needs is people are coming, or they're not coming, to whatever the community is, be it Christian, Buddhist, or what have you, pagan, you know, be it a, you know, witch, or the churches, satanic churches, or, you know, whatever your beliefs are. If you're going with half an intent and with an unknowing part of what the hell you're looking for or why, it's going to be a lost trip. So the magical formula here for all of this is clear up intent, define for yourself. And if you don't know, this is what meditation is for. This is what journals are kept for. You know, take a look at yourself and take a look at the magical intent that's moving forward. You know, the spirit of revenge, what are you getting out of it? I can guarantee revenge is a very hollow place. It really is, and the saying's true. Some of the most angry people I've ever met in the world, they have a vacuum at the center of themselves, and it's a vacuum they can never fill. And they keep trying to fill by being angrier and angrier and reaching out, and they go on more vendettas and they get even angrier, and they're lashing out at everybody until they realize there's nobody left to lash out at. In the end, they always look at themselves. This is intent. So, you know, that's the spirit of what's emerged today. Now we're pulling up into some visions of, let me show you this for a second, if I can figure out how to work this out. There we go. Now I'm messing with the lighting again. Here it is. Now, as you can see, this is one of the mountain roads here in Transylvania. And down below, on the lower levels, it's, you know, it's all brown ground and pretty much, you know, mud in springtime. Up here, in the upper levels, you're looking at snow on the trees, and this stuff just fell last night. So winter ain't over yet. So that's the message for today. I hope it meant something to somebody. I got a feeling somebody out there needed to hear that. Probably a lot of people. If I needed to talk about it, maybe I needed to hear it too. It's a common message. The world is really angry right now, and there's a lot of firebrand expressing going on, and, you know, even around our own groups and pages. And if you're one of those people who are really angry and you're lashing out at other people, take a look at yourself. Also, I'm not saying other people haven't done you wrong, but we all take a part in everything we do and make, and in every step we take. And it's called sweeping our own sides of the streets. That's where true aligned magical intent comes from. Think of the chakras, realigning yourself, clearing your energy. That's where great magic comes from. That's where good living comes from. So we're gonna go, and we're still rising up. I feel like we're going up the Tower of Babel here. Everybody have a wonderful day. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back. Bye-bye.